Welcome back to Marvelytics, ladies and gentlemen. This time, we're going to be covering everything from the latest episode of WandaVision. As always, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video. We're going to discuss all the major plot points of this episode, so spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't seen episode 6 yet. The new episode of WandaVision, which was the sitcom's version of a Halloween special, crossed all our expectations and boundaries too. This week's sitcom style paid homage to the popular sitcom Malcolm in the Middle. We got to see what it would be like if superheroes celebrated Halloween, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, they dressed up as themselves. The outfit Wanda and Vision wore had created a huge buzz among the comic book geeks, who were overwhelmed after seeing a comic-accurate attire being worn by Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. We also see Pietro and Tommy dress up in the classic Quicksilver costume, which poses a question. Does this mean that Tommy also possesses lightning-fast speed? And he beat us to it.
You didn't see that coming?
Goddamn mutants. Vision and Wanda seem to have some sort of unspoken bond. One where Wanda is not allowed to mind control him anymore. Poor Wanda. Vision goes his own separate way, while the kids along with Pietro and Wanda head out for some trick-or-treating. He says that he's on the lookout for suspicious figures around the town. Guess a mind-warping wife who controls thousands of innocent people and 2 kids who grow up 5 years in a second isn't suspicious enough for him. While out trick-or-treating, we also get some great conversation between Pietro and Wanda in this episode. Wanda seems to be suspicious of him all throughout this episode and asks him questions related to their childhood to see if he's her real brother. Other than running around and stealing the town children's candy, turns out this newly cast Pietro loves breaking the fourth wall too. He seems to be the only person in WandaVision who explicitly states that they are indeed in a simulation. He questions her about why her accent has changed, how she manages to control all the town residents, and even tells her that he's playing the part he wants her to play, although surely him sleeping all day on the couch and spoiling her 2 twins has gotta be improv on his part. Stick to the script, Pietro! We also noticed an interesting Easter egg while Wanda and Pietro were walking around the town of Westview. A cinema hall called the Coronet in the background of the scene displayed promotions for the movies Incredibles and The Parent Trap. The Incredibles is another very popular superhero film, which first aired in 2004 and actually resembled Marvel's own Fantastic Four in a way. Another superhero franchise nod was placed in the episode when Pietro referenced at the very start of the episode that he has XY chromosomes. Well, what Mr. Speed forgot to mention is that he also possesses the X gene. This is the gene that all mutants possess and brings up the question of whether we will see more mutants before this show ends. This episode also focuses on the events taking place outside the Hex, with a growing civil war between Team Hayward and background characters versus Monica Rambeau and FBI's finest magician, Jimmy Woo, coming to its climax. Hayward instructs his sword officials to take the 2 along with Dr. Darcy Lewis out of the facility. God, what a dick! I swear Thanos is easier to sympathize with. But then, through the magical tool of plot armor, they manage to knock the sword agents out and sneak back into the military base, where we learn about the shenanigans of Hayward and co. The show drops another shocking moment, confirming that Hayward and Sword have been trying to control Vision in some shape or form. That's 2 out of 2 theories we've got right for the episode. We're slowly becoming your most reliable and go-to channel for the best Marvel theories and breakdowns, so do please smash that subscribe button down below. After Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy intercept the base, they come across a sort of tracking file that is monitoring the whereabouts of all the WandaVision residents, and Vision in particular. On the top left of the computer, we also see the sign Reacquiring Asset, and as it completes its update, we cut to Vision. Is this official confirmation that Hayward and Sword were planning to use Vision as a weapon and now may have just got control over him? List your theories and predictions down below. Monica and Jimmy head out to initiate a plan to get them back into the Hex with the help of an unknown figure, but Darcy warns her about the risk in that since her molecular framework is not right. Incoming superpowers. Monica does not seem to care and heads out with Jimmy Woo while Darcy stays back to gather more info. This is also when we see the term Tesseract pop up on the screen. The Tesseract, as we know, is also a sentient weapon. This just raises more questions for what exactly is it that S.W.O.R.D. are hiding. We also notice that the other residents on the tracker are not moving. Through Vision's point of view, we find out that all residents in Ellis Avenue have been frozen. Earlier on in the episode, Wanda told Tommy and Billy not to roam around this same area, which suggests that she is responsible for the inactivity of those people. But why is that? Is their reason for being frozen because Wanda is losing control and cannot manage to mind control so many people at once? Or it could just be a Windows update adding some character development to the script, who knows? Vision, who has now transformed into his normal attire, notices a car leaving town parked in the middle of the road. As he flies across to the car, it is revealed to be none other than Agnes. After seeing all the characters dress up as themselves, could her being dressed up as a witch be a further clue to her being the comic character Agatha Harkness? As we speculated last week, Agnes seems to be knowing more about this town than most other residents, but this time, it turns out that she too was under the spell of Wanda. Or at least that is what she wants to get across to Vision. As Vision awakens her, we get to know that she actually knows who Vision is. Unlike Norm from previous week, she does not ask for help, but instead asks him if she's dead, to which he replies, "No. Why would you say that?" And then she hits him with the old "because you are," and poor old Vision is looking as confused as a chameleon. Agnes also goes as far to tell him that he's an Avenger, and of course he has no idea what that means. Probably because he wasn't in the first one, then he was kind of boring in the second one, and then he died in the third one. He's had a really rough journey these past few years. Maybe losing his memory wasn't the worst thing. Also, his ability to now wake up people like we saw with Norm and Agnes could possibly have something to do with S.W.O.R.D. Since we do think they have some control over him, maybe they are slowly being able to revive his powers? A long shot, but a possibility nevertheless. After Vision's mysterious findings on Ellis Avenue, he heads straight to the Hex as we start to reach the climax of this episode. Vision, with all his force, musters up enough courage to exit the Hex. In a shocking turn of events, we see Vision slowly disintegrate into thousands of pieces which are flying back into the Hex. He musters up the strength to warn the S.W.O.R.D. members that the residents are in trouble, but of course Hayward does nothing. Darcy runs out to bash Hayward for being a pussy, not exactly verbatim, but you get the point. As Vision slowly dies, we see Billy on the other side of Westview develop weird telekinetic powers and realizes his father is in danger. While this is happening, Marvel hits us with another jump scare revealing another dead body, but this time it's Pietro after the events of Age of Ultron. Wanda looks terrified, and this is possibly another hint to make it unclear to us fans whether Pietro is from the multiverse or is something or even someone else disguised as her brother. After Billy warns Wanda that Vision is in trouble, Pietro mocks Vision by saying, "Not like your dead husband could die twice." Clearly someone hasn't seen Infinity War. That comment makes Wanda go full crazy and blasts him across the field. She then freezes everyone around her and concentrates her powers to save Vision. We see the Hex getting even more red and starting to resemble the Upside Down from Stranger Things. Just when we think she's gonna leave the Hex to save her husband, she instead delivers the biggest shock of the episode by expanding the Hex. The complete S.W.O.R.D. base has come under the control of the Hex, along with Vision as well as Darcy, who was trapped by Hayward's cops. We saw the whole base being converted into a freaking circus. Cars, tanks, officials, none of them surviving the new 90s retro look they were going to be embarking. Of course, Hayward makes it out before Wanda stops the wrath and calls it a day. In just a few seconds, the production budget quadrupled, new actors, new set pieces. Wanda's sitcom may be more popular than we may have thought. Now that the show has all but confirmed that Wanda is our main villain, what does this mean for the show? With the expansion of the Hex and the continuous bending of reality, surely we're looking at a cameo cameo from Doctor Strange. There are also rumors that Wanda may be the main villain for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, since Marvel did not confirm that she'd be partnering up with Strange for that movie. Also, after witnessing Vision's near death, this confirms that it is very unlikely that he can survive outside of the Hex. The show is going to have a bittersweet ending by the looks of it, and may just be Paul Bettany's last appearance. However, there is a possibility of the Mind Stone somehow being recreated by Wanda. If she manages to bring it back from its current atom form, then there may be a future for Vision. One of the promo clips for WandaVision also showed a snippet of Wanda staring at a glowing yellowish object, which may just be the Mind Stone. But whether it is a flashback or just Marvel giving us false hope, that is something we will only find out down the line. As for now, please make sure to like and subscribe, and we will be back very soon with everything Marvel.